Hi everyone, welcome back to Real
Hi.
Life Gaze and welcome to episode 16. So as always, thank you for watching. Our last episode was a special episode because I had our mummies on with us. We really enjoyed the episode. We got some great feedback from it. They loved it. I'm sure you guys, parents, loved it as well. And it was quite an honest episode. And I think that's what you guys kind of want to see, kind of raw, kind of authentic us. And especially to hear our parents, well, our mothers. We should do another one in the future with our dads.
I was thinking that.
I think we should do one with our dads and like a games night one with drinking.
Something where they can, I think that would help them relax, and then we can kind of throw in little questions here and there. So yeah, that episode has been really well received, and we hope to do some more episodes with our families involved. So as always, if you've got any questions for us or our families, give us an email, reallifegaze@yahoo.com, and you can find us on our socials. They're slowly building, but it's at Real Life Gaze, and that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So first of all, let's catch up with the boys. Rhys, how are you doing? How's life treating you?
I'm good. I'm really, really good. Now that I'm back in UK, I'm getting all my pretty things done again. So I'm very.
And what about you, Lee?
I need a tan. Look at me, look at Rhys. I want to go back to summer when I was darker than the Perrier.
You don't need the summer for this. All you need is the sunbed.
I've been in touch with the girls at work, my new workplace, and I was like, where can I go for a decent tan? And they've told me, so there we go.
Tan responsibly, children.
Watch this space.
So yeah, normally we do try and do episodes every week, but because we're all very busy just now, these two guys are back working full time. So we will try and bring as many episodes to you as possible, but it's looking likely every 2 weeks now. Just to give us time to come up with the ideas and to let the previous episode get a bit of momentum and get a bit of a viewership. So that being said, this week we're going to talk about, just the three of us this week, we're going to talk about a topic that is quite close to our hearts. We've mentioned throughout the previous episodes, we've kind of touched on it quite a lot. It is about body image and body issues within the gay community. This is a topic that I thought about quite a while ago. And again, we've mentioned it like in the dating episode, the bullying episode, we've kind of spoke about it a lot. Body image and body dysmorphia, shall we say, is a big thing, not just for the gay community, for everyone. And when I've done my own research about it, I did think before I did my research that it was worse within the LGBTQ plus community, and it was confirmed that a study that was done quite recently by Attitude magazine. If you don't know it, it's a gay lifestyle magazine, probably a lot of people do know it. It found that if you're a gay man, you're 4 times more likely to have body issues and mental health issues regarding your body image, more so than a straight male. Interestingly, when they did the same studies with lesbians against straight females, the lesbians that they'd obviously surveyed cared less than the straight females. That didn't actually surprise me. I just thought it was quite an interesting look when you look at the straight males, and then the gay males, and then the straight females, and the lesbians. And then when I think about it without stereotyping and putting lesbians into a box, I'm like, yeah, the lesbians that I'm friends with and that I know do not care too much about how they look. The straight females that I know really do care about how they look. I don't know if you guys are the same.
We love our lesbian friends.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I wish I was like some of them, how they're just so laid back. And again, we don't like to gender or sexual or whatever orientation, we don't like to stereotype. I'm basing it on what I know, the people that I know, and the survey results and the statistics actually match my own personal friendships that I've got with gays, lesbians, and straight people. It matched. I was like, oh yeah, because that makes sense with my friends who are lesbian, my friends who are straight, my friends who are gay. It fit the results that came back to me. I don't know if you guys are the same. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's when I thought it was quite an interesting topic to talk about, because us three have got different bodies, like all three of us. You know, you've got slim, you've got someone who thinks they're bigger than they are, you've got someone who's bigger, You've got
Who's the slim one?
you're
Who's
the slim one.
No, I'm
You're
not.
definitely the slim one.
I'm
But
not.
this is the point, because even before we started filming this, we were talking about our bodies. We were talking about getting our hair right. I was saying I was getting my hair cut tomorrow. Rhys was perfecting his eyelashes. Lee was telling us about how tanned he wished he was, you know, and then we were talking about men in general, and we were looking at perhaps pictures of other men that have nice bodies, and we were like, this is part of the problem in a way that heightens people's issues and mental health regarding their body image, because the image that we are given a lot on the Instagram world that we live in is one of ripped abs, strong muscles, and that's something that you should be proud of and share. But it's also something that you try to aspire to do, and it's just not possible for a lot of people. I have wanted abs for years, and I've given up on that a long time ago. I moved to Egypt, like I mentioned in one of my previous shows. I lived in Egypt for 2 years, and I lost so much weight without trying. Okay, my job was teaching water gym, aqua aerobics, Zumba, and then going at night and then doing all these dance shows, and then eating quite healthily because the hotel provided the food was all fresh. And then because you're drinking so much water, everything that I was eating I was burning off. So the weight just fell off me. I became from a 36-inch waist down to a 30-inch waist. All my tops are fine. Some of the tops that I pick up now, I'm like, how the fuck did I get in that? They were extra small. And that, I got that for not trying. I still had my donuts, I still drank alcohol, I drank beer, but because the lifestyle that I lived, it just fell off me. And looking back, I was too slim. Like, looking back, it didn't suit me. I looked like a lollipop. But at the time, I still remember thinking I was the fat one over there. I remember breathing in quite a lot when everyone had their six-packs walking around, and I still had my little skinny body. I would be breathing in, thinking I was still the fat one. And then looking back now, I'll be like, oh my God, I don't necessarily want to get that slim again. But I remember thinking I was fat. And I'm guilty of it. I posted up photos of before and afters. Look at me in Egypt and look at me before I went to Egypt. Look how fat I was. Look how great I look now. And I know so many people who do the same thing without realizing, by posting up those photos, by saying that your previous one was one to be ashamed of, one that you were not happy with, someone else is looking at that before photo going, that's me, or I'm worse than that. And I know many people, I'm sure we do as well, who post up pictures before and after. One when they're skinny, for example, going, look what I was like a few years ago, and look at me now, I'm this massive, muscular, six-pack hunk. And they word it in a way that they were ashamed of who they were before. That one before was one to be pitied. Why would anyone want to look like that? And again, without realizing that what they're doing is making someone who does look like that think they're not right, and they have to aspire to be their after picture. And I've done that, and I'm sure you guys have done it, or have thought about doing it. I'm not sure. And that's when I decided to think that this is a good topic to discuss, because there's probably a lot of people who watch our shows, because it was about 80% that I saw in a survey were not happy with their bodies. In the gay world, 80% of a survey were not happy with their bodies. So most gay guys who's watching this just now are probably not happy with their body, even if they're a body that we aspire to do, to want. They're probably still a part of their body they're not happy with. And by them posting up on Instagram, they're doing it for the affirmation. They want to be accepted. So my question to you guys are, first of all, are you happy with your bodies? And if not, why? So let's start with you, Rhys.
No, I'm not. I know that I come across that I am. I know that my Instagram says that I am, and my TikTok say that I am, and my Facebook says that I am, but I'm not. I post all of those pictures or videos because I want some form of, like you were saying, I want some form of somebody else to say, oh my God, you're very
You want
attractive.
the validation.
The validation, because I don't think I have a nice body. I don't have abs. I don't have pecs. I'm not ripped. I'm not muscly. I wobble. And I've got horrible skin as well, which is why I go on sunbeds. I do things to make myself try and feel prettier. So I do the eyelash perming, and I do the fake tanning. I do the teeth whitening. And it's all because I'm not happy with what there is already, if that makes sense. And I know it sounds really weird when you look at my Instagram or Facebook, and anyone who's got me on those things, you'd think that I am a body confident person, but I am like the complete opposite. I have to have sex in the dark because I don't like my body. In front of a partner or a new partner, I can't just get naked. I feel like I need to explain my body to people. So I explain that, like, I'm not perfect, so don't think that I am, because it's all fake. There was this one guy actually last week, I won't name names, but he messaged me on Instagram saying how pretty I was, blah blah blah. So I replied saying thank you very much, means a lot. And then he said to me that he doesn't feel that he gets any attention because he's ugly. And it really kind of hurt me that people think that way about them. See, I would never call myself ugly, and I don't think anybody should ever call themselves ugly, because nobody is. We're all different, and everyone has different types. Ugly is it depends on your point of view of what you think something ugly is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I tried to say to this guy, I was like, people have types. I was like, you're just probably not their type. I was like, never think that you're ugly, because nobody is ugly. And then I said that I don't feel like the most attractive person in the world. I would love, like you, Gareth, I would love the abs, I would love the pecs, but knowing the way I am, that's never going to happen unless I can afford the surgery. So, but I tried to explain to him, but that did make me feel quite sad. And then I think it was literally the next day you said, let's do an episode on body image, and I was like, yes, because I think when you look at social media, 99% of it is fake. It's filtered.
And if you know that, it helps.
Yeah, I mean, every single photo on my Instagram is filtered to the maximum. Even when you see me normally, like now, there's no filter on this camera, but I have got the fake tan. Well, it's a real tan done by a fake means. I've got the fake lashes. It's not 100% me.
Yeah.
I don't think you boys would like to see the real me, because it's not very pretty.
But again, you just proved a point there by you saying you wouldn't think that we would want to see the real you, because you think that that's the type of image that we would want to see. Where does that come from? Is that comes from what you're represented on media, or because you think that the real you isn't going to be socially accepted? You know, you just proved your point in a bit.
I don't know if it's a social thing for me. I feel like it's more of a me thing. Like when I look in the mirror, here up, I'm very happy with. Here down, no. Oh, no. So I don't know. I feel like it is a me issue. Like, because that part's just for me, and well, we won't finish that sentence.
But you're not happy with them down here. What would you want to change? Do you want to look like someone else? Or this is the thing, when I look down, I know I'm not happy with my body, because I know what I need to do to get it to where I want it to be. I know the choices that I've been making in the last few months are not going to give me the body that I want, but I am aware of that. I know what I've been doing. It's things that you maybe cannot change. You know, I've got a big scar that runs from here to here. I cannot change that. It was an operation when I was a baby. I will never be able to change that. But I don't look at that and go, I wish I could change that because it's part of me. When I look down and I see flabby bits and, you know, boobs or whatever, I'm like, I can change that. Those are lifestyle choices that I know I can change if it upset me that much. But when I look down at my scar, I can't change that. So my question to you is, when you look down, is it things that you think you could change, or is it things that you know you can't change?
It's things that I know I could change, apart from the skin, because I've said it before, I think. I suffer with psoriasis. I'm trying, like, at the moment with the sunbeds, yes, one, it's because of the tan, but 2 is because it cures it. So like literally there's just a tiny bit on my arms now. So things like that I can change, but I have to do certain things, and it costs a lot of money to fix those things. The other stuff is because I'm very lazy. I don't exercise. I hate it with a passion. So the fact that I've got boobies and a belly and wobbly thighs and things like that, yeah, I could change them, but I would probably get a doctor to do it for me. I'm not trying to promote plastic surgery.
I know.
Just, it's easier. But I've got a similar story to you, Gareth. My biggest weight was around about 18 stone. About 7 years ago, maybe. And I went through a major depression in my life, like with work and partners and everything. And I went from 18 stone to 11 stone within 2 weeks because I hadn't eaten a thing for 2 whole weeks. But I didn't realize that I hadn't eaten. It was only when I eventually ate that I realized that I hadn't eaten, because I ordered a Chinese, and normally I'd eat the whole thing. And I ordered what I normally would. I ordered the chicken balls, the rice, the chips, everything. I had half a chicken ball and a spoonful of rice, and I was full up. And I was like, what the hell? And that's when I realized that, like you, I'd gone from about a 38 waist down to a 30 waist. My belts were getting tighter. And I'm not saying get depressed to lose weight. Don't do that. But it's weird how your brain and body do work together, in that if you're not well up here, this also gets affected. Like now I'm happy with my weight. I'm happy now it's healthy weight. But I am scared that I'm going to get big again because I'm happy.
And that's a huge thing. During my research, it did say people suffer from mental health issues because of their weight. But in order to help them feel better, they eat. So it is like a complete battle, because they're eating to make themselves feel better because their weight's suppressing them. But that's given them that sort of joy, that comfort. So they comfort eat, and then they get depressed by it, and then it's like a complete vicious cycle. So this is why when I see people who are overweight, you don't know how they've got there, and it is so difficult to look at someone and know their lifestyle. But everyone judges people, of course they do. It's human nature. Even if you don't say it aloud, you are judging them. Especially within the gay world, we're all judgmental bitches. And when you look at people and you go, you see someone who's 20 odd stone or whatever, they've not got there because they want to be 20 stone. And if they say they want to be 20 stone, I'd be very surprised if they're actually happy being 20 stone. I know I know a few people who I know who have suffered with weight all of their lives. And whilst they say to the full world they're happy with their weight, they don't care. When I've had little private chats with them, they do care. They go, it would make my life so much easier if I wasn't this size, but I can't get out of this rut. I like my food too much. I eat to comfort eat. I'm in that state where I can't lose weight. I need help. And not a lot of people can get the help because it's a catch-22. So you saying that, your depression made you lose all that weight, it could equally, people deemed depressed, make them put on all the weight. So people's weight, when you look at them, doesn't necessarily mean they're just greedy bastards. I'm sure there are people out there who are just greedy bastards, but most of the time it is linked with their mental state. And trying to kind of look at the, pun intended, not intended, the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's true.
So Lee, tell us about you.
So during when we said that we were going to talk about this episode and do this episode, I was thinking back about things recently, like during lockdown, but then also back. Obviously, I'm slightly older than you two. So I remember, like, say 20 years ago, my late teens, early 20s, where I was a lot slimmer than what I am now. But my mind was saying, no, you're fat, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I've got photos where I actually look ill. You know what I mean? Like you said, the lollipop head and the slim body. And another thing that you said about the breathing in, whenever I used to go out on a night out or anything like that, or even just general day to day walking down the street, I would be breathing in all the time. So I've got great core muscles because I'd literally just be I'd just do it automatically. And then, you know, even when I've been, like, say, chatting to my mom or chatting to friends about anything, and I said this, and if I took my t-shirt off and they said, "Oh, you've got a nice body," I'd be like that. Then I'd relax. And I said, and they said, "No, you're breathing out." I'm like, "I'm not." "Yeah, you are. You breathe out." I'm thinking, "No, that's me." This is what everybody else sees when I'm breathing out. I've just always been able to hold it in and talk and everything else. But it was when I was looking back at photos, and especially on Facebook when it comes up where it says like the memories and stuff like that. I've reshared the photo, like you've said about the slim photo and then the buff photo. I've done it the other way, where I say to myself, "Oh my God, I'm a lot heavier. I'm a good stone heavier than what I was back then, but I've still got the same mind." And yeah, I do sometimes think that I wish I maybe wasn't this shape. But like you said, it's laziness as well. Like I chatted to I've got two brothers. One of them's slimmer than me. I'm the oldest, but I'm like the middle. So I've got my older brother who's like built like a rugby player, and he weighs obviously heavier than me. And it was conversations that I've been having with him, you know, talking about going to the gym and toning up and changing my body. And I'm thinking, if I was to have a conversation with my brother back then, when I thought I was fat, when I was slim, and obviously muscle weighs heavier than fat, I don't think I would be able to comprehend that I would be putting weight on, but my body shape would be changing for the positive. But it was after a conversation with him, he was saying like, your body frame is a really good body frame. It wouldn't take you much to tone up and this, that, and the other. And I know what to do, and you know, I'd probably be able to do it. But like you said, it's laziness, and like you say, you're comforty, and then it's so much nicer to have. You know, I'm more of a savoury person. Have sausage rolls or a Chinese or something like that. But then straight afterwards, it's like, oh my God, I feel bloated. And then the next day I probably wouldn't eat until the evening. So over the years, I've never consciously had an eating disorder, but I've been thinking over the last couple of days, you know, maybe I have. I mean, I've never had bulimia or anything like that. I've never ate food and then been sick or anything like that. But from when I was younger to moving up to now, I'm very conscious about my weight. And I noticed during doing TikToks, obviously it's video, so you can't edit videos like you can with photos. Like you said, with my Instagram and Snapchat and this, that, and the other, I hate certain parts of my body. I've got a spot here, and I think everyone looks at that spot when they look at my face. And then 9 times out of 10, if I mention it to people, they're like, "I don't even know it's there." And I'm like, "I do, because I actually, and most of my photos, it isn't there because I edit it out." And I slim my face down. I make my lips bigger. I make my eyes bigger. I make my whites of my eyes whiter. I can give myself a tan. And then certain topless photos that I've put out on social media, I've got rid of my muffin top as well, where I just go and push it in. But then I look at that then and say, "Oh, that's a really good photo of me," but it isn't me. But it makes me feel good putting that photo out there. And like you said, Rhys, it's nice to get all the likes on that photo. It's, what did you say? Validation. But then in the next breath, you know, I have been single for the past few months and I've gone on dating apps, and some of those photos that I do edit are on these dating apps. And then I think to myself, "Oh, catfish." And obviously I haven't met anyone through those dating apps because we can't at the minute. But then say maybe you may go onto a video call or something like that, and then I'm always nervous or whatever. Or even back in the day when you could meet people, I was always nervous about meeting people because, you know, what are they going to say? Because I remember being out on the scene in my 20s, you know, I would go out in skinny jeans. I'd had a 28-inch waist, and I think I've still got a pair of my skinny jeans somewhere, and I tried to put them on once a few years ago. I was like, nah, never gonna happen. And literally, I couldn't even do the button up, and I barely got them over my thighs.
I've all been there.
Yeah.
But there's certain parts of my body that I do like. Like, I really like my legs, but my legs were a lot bigger than when they were back then. It's like, like you were saying, what parts of your body do you like? There's certain body parts that I do like, and certain bodies that I don't like. But then it's my own insecurities. Something that I don't like in me, someone might really like.
Yeah.
That's so weird that you say that. Before we came on, I asked my mum's partner, I was like, from a straight man's point of view, is there something about your body that you don't like? And he mentioned his legs. And my mum turned around and said, oh my God, that's my favourite part. So it's so weird that you say that, because it's so true, because something that you normally hate, somebody else actually loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it is probably important to not put so many filters.
So my next question would be, why do you then think gay men are 4 times more likely to have an eating disorder or body dysmorphia or body image related mental health issues than straight men? Why do you think that, Rhys?
I think it's because we are in a community that does judge each other quite sorely sometimes and quite harshly. We're a bitchy bunch of boys, us gays. And as much as we love each other and we'd always stick up for each other in a fight, I think when it comes to image, it's a difficult one, because you have these beautiful, pretty gay boys who are muscle crazy, can look good wearing a thong, and then you have your bears.
Can anyone look good wearing a thong?
No.
Yes. Then you have your bears and your twinks and your daddies and there's just there's so many different boxes inside this little gay world that we have. And as much for a community that hates being put into a box, we love to do it to ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, we hate being labelled as gay, but at the same time we sit there and go, oh, I'm a gay bear or I'm a gay twink.
And there's, and similar to, say, like homophobia, there's a lot of homophobia within our own community.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I think we're a judgy bunch of people, and as much as we do love each other, we'd always support each other's rights. When it comes to image, sometimes we can be quite harsh.
Also, I think as well, media. So, say like Queer as Folk and certain, characters of gay people in soaps and this, that, and the other. So they're very slim, fit. They go to the gym. I remember watching Queer as Folk, the UK version. They all used to go to the gym. There wasn't any characters that were like large gay men, like say bears or anything like that. But then certain other, what was the one with? I think it was Russell Tobin. Did a Looking, that was it.
That was
that
brilliant.
one. I really enjoyed that, because the body shapes on there was different nationalities, different body shapes, and they all embraced, everyone within the whole community, and which I thought was really, really good. Similar to, I was chatting to someone on Twitter the other day, the banana, cucumber, and tofu, I think it was. I loved that, and someone actually said, "Oh, I've just started watching it now." And I was like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot about that." And that was different people within that. There was like the young twinks, there was the older guy, and different relationships, different races, everything else. But I think media does play a part in things, not just in gay body types, but in all.
Yeah.
Well, even when you look on TikTok, for example, a lot of the big TikTok accounts are guys that are topless with their six packs. You go onto their TikTok page, and a lot of their content is no better than mine, no better than yours. It's no better than a lot of my other accounts that I follow that have got a quarter, if not hardly any followers compared to them. But because they have this beautiful body, and most of their TikToks are about standing in front of the camera, does not require them at all to be topless, but they are topless with these gorgeous hips and abs. You've got all these comments, millions and millions of views. People like us or other young gay guys or whatever going on to that, not just gay guys, there's all the straight men as well. Go on to that, but if they're a gay TikToker, who's famous gay TikToker, and you go on and they're getting all these amazing comments, how hot you are, oh my god, and all of this, blah blah blah. Someone like us or someone else looking at that going, their content's very similar to mine, or their content's that, but they're getting all that love and appreciation because they're hot, because they've got the body. And then you look down and you go, well, I'm not going to do a topless TikTok because I'm not going to. You might get the people who are like, well, that's pretty, but you're not going to get a huge millions of followers because of it, and that can also play a part of media. But
then, as a body positivity type thing, why not? Why not just go topless? Like, I don't think I have no muscle. I'm a wobbly person. I wobble when I walk. That's what I do, and I'm always going to be that way because I'm lazy. Like the last couple of TikToks I've done, I have taken my top off. And I remembered when I first started TikTok, I used to do it topless all the time because I was in Cyprus and it was hot. And somebody said to me when I was used to doing, I love your body positivity. Like, you're not ashamed of the fact that you're not perfect. And I'm not ashamed that I wobble. And it bugs me to hear you say that because I think that there's nothing wrong with you.
But this is a perfect example of all three of us are different. Yeah. And this happens everywhere in society. I would kill for a body like yours. I would kill for a body like Lee's. I could never go topless on my TikTok. I just couldn't, because I know that I can carry my weight well wearing a t-shirt and everything. But under this, it's not something that I personally think is pretty. And I know it's not pretty because I just know there's wobbly bits and there's rumples, and I'm just like, no, I don't feel comfortable myself, so why would I want to put that out there, because this isn't the body that I want just now. Even that episode a couple of episodes ago when we got drunk that night and I took my top off, I had to edit a little bit that out because when I took my top off, you could see my boob. And I looked at it going, right, it's just a little flash of it, but no, because you could clearly see the flabby boob. And I was like, nope. And I actually, just a split second, I edited it out. So I'm like, I don't want that, because I felt so shit about it. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. And it's maybe a little bit different when you're in a relationship or you have that person that you're with forever, or you feel it's going to be forever. You can kind of relax a little bit because you're not on the market. And yes, you want to still look good for your partner, but at the same time, because you're so comfortable with each other, it's all about having those wine nights and those pig outs, those afternoon teas and everything like that. So that part kind of goes out the window a little bit, And that kind of brings me on to my next point. One of the reasons as well that I think it's so difficult for gay men and how it's different from straight couples is the fact that a straight couple don't have the comparison with each other. The women and the man don't look at each other and go, I don't have boobs like you. I don't have your leg. I don't have your hair. I don't have that. Well, you're not, because they're a different sex. They're a different gender. When you've got two of the same gender, you have nothing to do but compare. You have the same bodies, but completely different formation. So naturally, with me and my ex-partner, I would look at him and be like, I would love your shoulders. I would love your pecs. I would love your height, your shape. I would love it. And I look at my own, and you're like, you can't help but compare, especially when you're seeing someone. And I don't know if that makes it worse when you're not in a relationship and you're meeting up with someone just for a one-night stand, or you're getting to know someone and they take their top off and you go, oh, I'm not taking my top off now because, oh my God, his body is amazing. And you compare. Whereas if a woman and you're straight does that, you're not going to go, oh, I don't have boobs as big as hers. So, and I think that's another reason.
But that's what Rhys says, that your insecurities are somebody else's things that they love about you.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've seen people in relationships where there could be like the big buff guy and a very slim guy, and I'm thinking that don't match, but the buff guy really fancies the slim guy and the way he looks and this, that, and the other. And I have seen 2 buff guys as relationship people and 2 slim guys relationship as well. But yeah, you're touching about relationships as well, about you're in a relationship and you're very comfortable, and sometimes you do let yourself go a little bit. But then also I've found when I've been in relationships, you let out, you tell people, you tell your other partner your insecurities and things like that. And then in turn, I've found, not all the time, but numerous times, where if there's arguments or whatever out, the first thing that they throw at you is your insecurities, your weight, your this, your that, the other, because they want to hurt you. And I think is not good. And I think that's, across the board, not just in the gay world. But obviously in like the gay world, you probably, one of the things about your insecurities would maybe be your weight or something like that. A straight guy probably wouldn't say that to a straight female. But touching on what I think a previous episode I actually said about Rhys during lockdown a few months back, when I was first seeing you on TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, look at him. He's got his top off, this, that, and the other. And I think I said in a previous episode that I went to duet you with a song or something like that. I think you started doing a dance or something, and I don't do the dancey ones anyway. So that was my thing. But also, I think it was one of these ones where you did a transition and you clapped and your top was off and you did it. And I actually did it, but I ended up deleting it and I didn't share it. But over the months, you and other people, you were giving me confidence about my body. And now I think I did one the other day, about a week ago, where it's that I love you, and when they go like that, and then they go snap, and then it's like the disco lights, and then they've got the top off, and they're going like that. I look at that now, and I'm thinking I wouldn't have been able to do that months ago. So it's people like you, Rhys, and other people that I've followed that probably they haven't got the buff bodies or anything else, but they're doing it, and I'm thinking, you know what? They've given me the confidence because they've done it. I've been able to do it, and I've only done it, and I only did it because my arms were up here. And everything was lifted up.
Well, I do. That's why all my poses
I wouldn't have been doing it like that. But even then, I could still see I've got a little bit of a muffin top. I'm thinking...
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And that's what I mean. My mind has changed so much over the years. And obviously, I'm like 10 years ahead of you guys. I don't really... It does bother me, my body shape sometimes. But like you said, I'm lazy. I could get off my arse and go to the gym, and I do. I did. I used to go swimming and this, that, and the other. So
the thing that you find, these guys, these men that have these perfect bodies, I'm gonna stick to the gay world here because I'm not so sure about the straight world. But in the gay world, these guys who have these ripped muscles and they're dicks. They're nasty people. They're full of themselves. Not all of them. All of them. I'm not going to label everyone with the same brush, but the majority are horrible. They have their types that they'd go for, and if anyone else dared speak to them, they'd look down at their nose at you. And that's why I think in the gay world we strive to be like them, because even though they're not, they are like the top dog, and they're the ones that all of us want to look like. Or at least try to look like a little bit. And it's like,
let me just take. I was going to say something when you were saying something earlier on, Rich, and I just remembered. When Gareth asked you if you wanted to change something, that was it, from here down. And then when I was saying, when I look back at myself when I was slim and look at myself now, I've still got the same mind. But then if I was to get ripped, I don't really fancy a six pack. I'm more of a rugby player build. And I was to get, like, say, a bit more toned and everything else, my mind's still going to be the same as I am now, as I am then, and as I was then.
Yeah.
So I
still feel like a 16-stone guy. Like, I breathe in. You know how you're saying you breathe in? I breathe in all the time. I wear extra small t-shirts, or small, right? So I have to breathe in the whole time, because if I don't, it's like pure... And it's like, I don't know why I do that to myself, but that's just because I feel comfier in clothes that I can't breathe in.
The tailor that we had a couple of years ago, I told him that, I breathe in a lot. He was horrified. He was like, the amount of damage you can do to your internal organs when you breathe in. He was like, you mustn't do it because you can have problems with your bowel, you can have problems with he was like, do you suffer with problems like that? And I was like,
You don't have to tell us.
and I was like, oh, okay, never thought that was related. He was like, yeah, don't do that. And I was like, okay, but it's so difficult when you've done it for so many years.
It's habit. It's habit. I still do it now, and I need to do it. And I know people think I don't, but I do. But this is me breathing in. This is me not breathing in.
There's nothing there still.
There is. Look at that.
But if you just wore one extra size up, that'd be fine.
No! Clothes cannot be baggy, they should be skin tight.
But do you know what, guys? Even as well, when we ordered the t-shirts, I would feel totally uncomfortable wearing a white t-shirt because
Really?
I'm not happy with my body. This is why I got the black one.
White slims me down, believe it or not, instead of black. I don't get it. It should be the other way around.
See, I'd feel more comfortable in a black. It's right, I'm straddling my chair. I can't turn to the side. Hold on.
Well, I remember asking for a pink one, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I've got my pajama bottoms on, so that's me breathing in. I'm not breathing out.
What size are you wearing?
What, t-shirt?
Yeah.
Medium.
Medium. Have I got a small? I think I've got a small.
I think you had the small.
Small, medium, large.
I just
Yeah, small.
I just what's the name? The what's happening off camera. So I've got my pajama bottoms on.
Docker.
Oh wow.
So I was reading this article, and I'm going to read it to you, right? Because a lot of it's probably going to bring up what we've already spoken about. So it says, body image is an issue for many gay men, regardless of sexuality, but it seems to be more of a problem within the gay community. When it comes to appearance, gay men hold themselves and one another to far more exacting standards. And it says, having spoke to a few people on the Grindr app, which if you're not familiar with, it is a hookup app, stroke dating app for gay guys, right? And it's called Grindr. So as one told me, what's seen as normal in straight men isn't the same with gay men. You can be straight thin, but gay fat. And I was like, oh, how interesting. A leading gay lifestyle magazine, Attitude, published an entire issue dedicated to body image problems within the gay community. And in a recent survey, the magazine, 84% of respondents said they felt under intense pressure to have a good body. Only 1% considered themselves very happy with their appearance. According to Attitude's editor-in-chief, there is an epidemic of gay men taking shirtless selfies in the gym, desperate for affirmation. A gay vlogger who recently posted a video on this topic said, I've definitely had an unhealthy relationship with my own body in the past. Part of the obsession some gay men have with their appearance definitely comes from seeking validation, which we've already said. He said, gay people often don't feel accepted, but the thinking goes, if people think you're good looking, then they will like you more. They look past your sexual orientation. So he's basically touching on it because a lot of gay men aren't happy being gay, they want to be liked. So if they've got a good body, people will like them regardless of the fact that they're gay. So homosexuality is often accompanied by feelings of shame stemming from a lack of acceptance within a society. Those feelings can lead to a lack of acceptance for ourselves, which leads to an unhealthy fixation with our appearance. Everyone experiences not liking how they look sometimes, but when you really don't like yourself, then it will manifest as really not liking the way you look. In 2014, the International Journal of Eating Disorders found that gay or bisexual men were 3 times more likely than straight men to have body image issues. It seems to be, well, I've already mentioned, it seems to be the other way around for women, with a 2013 study finding that lesbian women reported less body dissatisfaction than heterosexual women. According to the lesbian blogger Denise Warner, women are more accepting of body flaws, possibly because they're so aware of the sexism in mainstream media when it comes to promoting unattainable beauty standards. The link between lack of acceptance and body image rings true. For this guy he's talking here. At school, I was bullied a lot for the way I looked, the way I dressed, my body hair. But the main reason for the bullying was my sexuality. I came out when I was 15 years old. The guy then says he compared himself to boys he thought were more attractive than him. I felt like the bullying would stop if I looked better, and I ended up developing some pretty bad eating habits, throwing up and stuff. He said the LGBT community is judgmental about appearance. Right now, the scruffy, muscular look is popular. If you don't have a six-pack, then you're considered not hot. He says, I know people who spend 4 hours a day in the gym. They go 2 hours in the morning, 2 in the evening. I would understand if they were athletes, but they're just general, regular guys. Some people even abuse drugs like steroids so intensely that they end up looking like ninja turtles. One Grindr user said, it's not great for your self-confidence. You don't fit into the mold. It definitely affects people negatively. And it says LGBT people face a greater risk of developing mental health issues, with a new report suggesting that as many as 40% of London's LGBT community suffers mental health problems. Gay people feel a perpetual threat of not being accepted, which makes us feel out of control, and anything that affects our mood, even temporarily, like getting noticed for looking good, gives us the illusion of regained control. A Grindr user agreed, I think body image for gay people is a way of seeking acceptance. It's something that we control in a way that we can't control our sexuality. So I think there was a lot of interest there, because it's so, I think I agree with quite a lot of that article.
Yeah.
And like we say, we've had, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know a few people in my life and on our social media world who post daily pictures of their bodies, and because they're proud of their bodies, by saying, look at me. And it's a good thing, but like you said, they're doing it for the validation. But what this article then continued to say was, when you're about to post your amazing six-pack photo out there, especially when you're doing it next to your previous, whether it's because you were, weighed more before or weighed less before, think about what that's going to then do to someone else looking at it who doesn't share your body confidence. Because a lot of the times people don't think about that. They're doing it for their own self-gain. They're not putting it out there for people to go, oh, look at you. They're putting it out there so people can drool over them or applaud them. And it's really interesting, because people who then post photos like that has like a domino effect for then people like us and other people feeling that they're not where they should be with their own body, feeling shit. But I can't see it ever changing. Ever.
I don't think it will change.
No.
I mean, you just look at celebrities, media, social media, television, film, singers, dancers, all of these perfect people who, in the eyes of society, are perfect.
Yeah.
That's why.
And this is when the big shows that really annoy me, whilst I hold my hands up and say, sadly, I was a fan. The show Love Island, okay?
I've never watched it.
Never watched it.
Obviously, it's straight couples. There's not a gay Love Island yet. But these people have all got six-packs and they've all got gorgeous bodies. And I remember a couple of years ago, one of the people who won didn't have a six-pack. He had a normal kind of body. It wasn't fat.
Kind of.
It was just like a normal body. Like it just, I shouldn't say normal, a regular, easily attained body. He just had no abs in sight. And he won because he was probably what the public looked at as a regular guy. Not someone who hangs out in the gym constantly and watches what they eat, or because one week they're on a bulk up week, another week they're on a shredding week. They want someone who they can go out and have a burger with, no matter what they're doing in the gym that week. So the people in the public, me included, fell in love with this person because I'm like, do you know what? I have more respect for you because I can see what kind of life we would live together rather than these other guys that are shredded to hell. But
Too much.
the previous year, like last year, the year after that guy won, there wasn't a single non-ab man in there. They were all shredded within their lives. And the amount of comments Love Island, for example, gets on Twitter, for example, or people just think, can we not just have a dad bod, they're calling, or a beer belly? Can we not just have a normal body type that's a huge percentage of the male population instead of just one kind of category of male body on display? But it's shows like that that then make. I've got some straight friends who have body issues. They're striving towards the whole six-pack that gets on the front covers of all these magazines, that gets on Love Island, because that's what makes you famous and that's what makes you desirable. And you can argue that that's been like that for women for many, many years, that the people who get on the front cover of magazines have certain body size. It's not just us.
But then the people on the cover of those magazines have all been airbrushed. Their hair isn't as big as that. They're, you know what I mean? You can see like before and afters. You know, like when you see these film posters, and I'm thinking, she don't look like that in real life.
No. But the likes of like Love Island people, they do look like that in real life because, you know, it's a reality show. And I just think it's interesting because a lot of arguments against that was like, well, would you tune in to see flabby bodies on sunbathing next to the pool? And I was like, I was a huge fan of Big Brother.
Yeah, it's just
flabby bodies by the pool.
They had something opposite, I wouldn't say opposite, and I've never actually, I think I've caught the odd episode as I've been flicking over the channels. So something that's, say, maybe not the other side of the coin, but because it was about disabilities as well, but they had different body shapes and different nationalities and everything else. So was it the Undateables?
yeah.
So you've got something like, say, Love Island or similar, whatever they are. And then I know it was mainly around their disability, but I think there were still people on there that had the buff bodies and everything else, but they also had, you know, weight issues. You know, some were slim, some were fat, some were old, some were young. That did a more of a broad thing of everything, of every person. Another one is first dates. I find that has, well, yes, you get your buff people, but I think I've never applied. I've thought about it. I'd want to go to the first dates hotel so we could get a little cheeky holiday out of it as well. I think, you know, there's a lot of information that you have to give of what you want, so they match you on a mental level, on what your interests are, more so than looks. But some of them, like say the women might say, oh, I want a Thor, and then a guy walks in 6 foot with long blonde hair and like beard and stuff like that. But when you said about you want someone that they can have a burger with, my brother, he goes to the gym, he's built and this, that and the other, but he loves his food. He'll take you out for a burger. Another friend of mine actually went out on a date with we went out on a date with a girl, and I think the next day or something she recommended, oh, should we go to this cafe and have an all-you-can-eat breakfast? And he was like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? So it's like swings and roundabouts.
But there's different kinds of bulk, or, you know, eaters, shall we say. The guys that I'm talking about and the guys that I know are guys that post up on their Instagram, post up on Twitter and all these social medias that they're on. I'm on a 30-day shed. I'm on this, you know, I'm having my treat night in 3 weeks. You know, these are the people that are very strict with their food to keep that lean, such and such percentage of body fat shit and all that. And I'm like, good for you if you can do that. You know,
I don't get it.
Because when you're on, you type in gay on Instagram, you're just inundated with six-pack, and, you know, I don't even ever look because it's difficult because I don't want to body shame the people who have good bodies.
No.
I'm just saying that the most times there's a huge issue with body image and mental health related issues relating to body image within the whole of society, not just the gay world. But it's heightened by posting up things like that. You know, and I just don't even know how I could advise people of a solution, because
I mean, we're three different people, like we've said.
It isn't going to help.
Yeah.
And then, like Rhys said, he still feels like the overweight guy from years ago inside his body right now, even though it doesn't physically look like. But then with these people, I'm not saying everyone, with these people that are, you know, changing their bodies, and they have a slimmer body, and then they're now buff and they've got a six-pack, they're probably that little kid in that big buff body from 15 years prior being beaten up for being a skinny so-and-so and all this, that and the other. So even with their mental health, I'm not saying everyone that's buff got mental health issues. No, I'm not saying that at all. But, you know, there could be issues like that with them as well. They want to strive to be the big macho man, so I'm not bullied again.
A lot of people that I know that were bigger, or I know one of the famous guys, I won't mention his name, but he's famous now. He was bigger and he hated being big, so he got fit and got ripped. He constantly posts up, look how fat I was, you know, look how awful I was. And I hate when he posts up stuff like that, because you're like, you don't realise how much damage you're doing by, you know, making that little boy, who was 15 at the time or younger, who is a larger 15-year-old, but saying how ugly and disgusting he felt, and now look at him in these big abs. You're like, you don't have to do that. Just post up your body and say, I'm happy with my body just now. Applaud, okay?
Yeah.
It's the negativity that they put against the previous photo. Like you're saying, if they weren't happy with their body before, they've done something to make themselves happy with it. That is great. I applaud them. Okay, I really do. But it's how they then represent that to people like us and other people within society is what's causing this ripple effect of body image issues. And that's when I have a problem with it. When they're posting up the previous skinny boy or the previous fat boy and making that out to be a previous one that we'd all not want to be. And you've got someone who has that image and you're like, oh shit. And that's what I take a problem with. If they just want to post up a photo of their body when feeling good today, that's great. You know, go for it. But there's also people who post up body photos every day. You know, a different pic, a different nipple.
Just don't follow them.
Like,
do you think the issues that we're feeling now, because we're all around the same age, all right, I know Lee's a little bit older, but we're all around the same age. Do you think the older we get, the less this is going to matter?
Yeah.
I'd like to think
in this community, in the gay community, not in life.
I'd like to think so, but no, because I don't know, because I think back to when I was like 17 and now I'm 31. You know, I have the same feelings now. I can't see, because you go through little stages that I do. I go, I don't care anymore. I don't care, especially when I was with my partner. I don't care. I was like, we're happy. I'm going to eat what I want, drink what I want. I don't care. And then I get to a certain weight where I'm like, I feel awful. None of my clothes that I like fit me. I'm now a bigger waist size that I've ever been in my life. I've got boobs, and I'm like, you feel crap. No matter how many people tell you you look good, if you don't feel good, it doesn't matter how many people tell you, and you know yourself, you have to do something about it. I would love to be one of those people that can eat what I want, drink what I want, and never put on any weight. I hate you if that's one of you. But I never think that will ever go away. And I think a lot of people go through stages, they're like, I'm on holiday for the next couple of weeks. My excuse has been lockdown, because I've been so bored, you know, for lockdown way back in March, and I just put on so much weight because I thought, I don't care, I'll do that again later. I know I can do it. I've got to that stage now, but I'm like, okay, I need to stop now, because we're coming into winter months where you want to have that kind of hotter, you know, stodgy food. You want the cakes, you want the hot soups and stews and everything. Then you've got Christmas, where you just stuff your face with everything and drink all the alcohol. So I'm like, if I don't do something now to come down a little bit, and I stay at this level, and then come to Christmas when I can eventually start wanting to do something about it, it'll be a lot harder. And I'm not doing that for anyone else's validation. I'm doing it for my own, because I'm not doing it so I can get a photo to put up on Instagram or anything. I'm doing it for my own self so I can look good and feel good in my clothes. I don't think that'll ever go away, because unless you've got a lifestyle that you're happy with, going to the gym every day and watching what you eat, having an occasional treat, and you're happy with that lifestyle and it works for you, and you're never going to really go up, then that's great. I'm a proper yo-yo body. I'm constantly up and down because I go through little stages like most people do in life, where they're like, summertime, I've got a holiday coming up, I'm going to watch what I eat, because you want to feel good yourself. I'm not doing it to get a date or look hot on the beach. I'm doing it because I want to feel comfortable myself. I want to look in the mirror and I want to be happy with what's looking back, not stand in front of the guy and want them to see me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think people struggle with, is trying to love themselves, because they're basing their own bodies on everything else they see, or their partner who has a better body than them in their head is better. So they're striving to compete with that, and it just doesn't work.
My mindset has changed though, since I'm now nearly 40 next year, and I'm probably a bit more positive about my body, but I still have days, weeks, whatever, where I look and I think, oh, I mean, more so the last few weeks I've been wearing jeans and they're falling off me. So I'm going through a stage at the minute where I'm thinner than what I was. But my mindset at the minute, I'm nearly 40. Yes, I could go out and get to the gym, but I'm trying to be firm with myself and say, no, you're not fat. You're not this, you're not that, the other. Compared to what I was like in my early 20s, 20 years ago to now. So I feel, my personal opinion, slightly different to Gareth's. My mindset has changed, but I've still got that little niggle in the back of my mind. And when going back to TikTok, it's a video. So if I scroll back, I can see the face changing in my face. I'm thinking, nah. And I went for, especially when I was doing TIFF, I put the wig on, I was like, nah. So then I got tape and I taped everything back and I put the wig on. I was like, that's better. And then there's on TikTok, I forgot I had tape on and I did that I am what I am. And I ripped the wig off and I was like, it's still stuck. I had to give it an extra yank. And I was like, oh.
But you're doing that because you've seen, especially with TikTok, I'm the same. You look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't fit into that t-shirt anymore I wore 6 months ago. Again, you're wanting to change that because yourself. Do you want me to
No, not for anybody else. If anything, other people say to me when they've seen me naked or whatever else, oh my God, you've got an amazing body. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I hate compliments. And I've another thing I've learned to say, and someone taught me this, it's okay to take a compliment. And I used to hate it. And I used to say, oh, thank you. And I normally say now, oh, thank you, you're too kind.
Because that's my point. All three of us have different body shapes. We're all different. Well, we're similar in age, but we've all got different hair. We've all got different skin. We've all got different body shapes. And we all have our each issues with our own bodies, but we each appreciate each other's beauty, because, like I said, I would kill to have each of your bodies. I would be so happy with it. But then you have told me that you're not happy with your own bodies. And everyone else who has these good bodies or thin bodies or bigger bodies are going through the exact same thing. And this is the thing where it's just like, I just feel that within the gay world, what different kind of body shapes are not really celebrated or promoted. And I don't know about you guys, when I'm on the dating apps, especially Tinder, the swipe left and right, if I see anyone posing with their six-pack, it's a left for me, it's a no. I'm just like, no, because on Tinder you have to make assumptions. That's what the whole Tinder app is. You're on people's looks. And I have to get into my head, if you're that type of person that can stand in a mirror with your top off with a six-pack and say, look at me, that's not the type of person that I'd want to be with. I immediately swipe left. If I see a cuddly person that I think, you're very similar body shape to me, you like your food, you don't care too much about that ripped ab, I'll swipe right. I'm like, I can see.
One of my Tinder photos is edited, so I haven't got the muffin top.
So if you've got a topless photo on Tinder, you're a left swipe to me. You're a no.
So you would have left swiped on me, Gareth?
You would have
Because I've
left.
got a top.
And it's not, I might just be alone in that, because it's great that some people are so body positive and they can have a topless photo. But when I want you to date someone, the fact that you look good with your top off is not really important to me just now. I want to see that later on, once I've got to know the person.
But even that as well, it's about different types. Like on Tinder, the amount of times I swipe left because it's a second. I don't even. It's that first photo. If they don't catch me in that second, it's a left. And that could be for whatever reason. I don't necessarily have a type. My back catalogue of relationships and whatevers are all different. No two are the same. I've had tall, slim, shaved head, long hair, a bit bigger than me, older than me, younger than me. And it's very fickleish, isn't it, when you swipe left or swipe right on that initial second? Because I'm thinking, I can't be asked. It sounds awful. I can't be asked to press swipe across all the different photos and it's still a no.
But what about reading their actual bio and seeing what they're like as a person? Like, does personality not matter?
What I will do is
9 times out of 10 there's no bio.
If there's no bio as well, I very struggle to swipe right for them and say yes, because I'm like, if you've not had the time to give me any information about yourself, fuck off. So if I'm looking at someone, I'm like, okay, their photos are nice, blah, 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 and they'll look in their bio. If they mention anything about image, no fats, no femmes, masculineness, no less than 5'6", I'm like, left, immediately left. That's a no for me, because you've just body shamed someone who's reading this, who's like, oh, I like the sound of this person, no 5'6" or less. You're like, oh, I'm 5'5", or you're like, oh, I'm a little bit bigger, I'm too skinny for this person, or am I straight? Am I gay acting? Oh, and immediately, even if I was like yes to all of those things, oh, I'm his type. I'm like, the fact you've said that, no. So the bio is really important, but in order to, like Tinder, a lot of the times to get to the bio, you have to connection with your photo. And without, that's why you're on Tinder. If you don't care if it looks, you wouldn't be on Tinder, because it's all about a photo. For me, if the photo is like, oh, you're not necessarily catching my breath, but let me see what you say in the bio. If I like it, I'm like, okay, you're getting it right, because I want to see if there's something there. Whereas equally, I'm sure there's lots of people who only want the six-packs, who want the hot guys, who want, the brain-dead people who can't even type a hello in the bio. They want those people. They're there for everyone. But for me, there's a lot of them. I'm left. Like, where are the right people?
I haven't played Tinder in years.
I just think, especially dating just now, within the game world, but also in COVID world, is impossible. So there's not really much choice. You can't just really go to a bar just now, or go to a gay club and see who catches your eye.
I actually got told on Tinder the other day, you've swiped all of the ones in your area.
You
I'm
did?
like, no.
I said no
So I
more in your
extended
area.
the miles, a few more. I was like, oh, I got a few more now.
I was the same. I was like, oh my god, there's so many people that aren't. Am I too picky? Oh no. But no, my point there is I don't look. I contradict myself there a little bit, because I don't look at the body. Because clearly, if I'm saying six-pack and I'm saying no, I am judging someone for their body. But that's more so that I would feel probably intimidated in a way, or I'd feel inferior almost, to be with someone who had a six-pack and I didn't. I would feel, even though maybe their type isn't someone with a six-pack, I would feel uncomfortable with that.
You feel like you're not worthy. You're not worthy of them.
And I would never say that to them. I would never body shame someone who's got a six-pack and say, oh, you've got a six-pack, you're a no. I would just silently say no and just say, that's personally for me, it's not for me. If I got to know someone, if they had all their clothes on a photo, and they've got a nice face, and they've got a nice bio, and we click, and then I meet them, and then they take their top off and they've got a six-pack, I'm not going to go, oh, you've got a six-pack, go away. No, because I've got to know the person. I've not got to know the
bonus!
six-pack. So, what advice would you give someone who's having body image issues? It's difficult because we're all going through it ourselves. So,
My advice would be to do what makes you happy. Because yes, I put the pictures up online for the validation, but I also tan and do my eyelashes for me. Do what makes you happy, and what if you can do it, do it. If it makes you happy, if you can go to the gym, go to the gym. If you can afford to get your lashes done or your tan done, and you want to do that, do that. That's fine.
yeah,
But don't think too hard on it. Like, I try not to let the fact that I don't like my body rule my life. I will buy clothes because I like those clothes.
yeah,
I don't care whether or not it fits me or not. I'll deal with that later. And I think that's probably the only advice that I can give you is do what makes you happy and buy the clothes that make you happy, and worry about the image stuff later, because you're only young once.
exactly.
Yeah, so similar to what Rhys is saying, don't look at other people and compare yourself to them. Don't look at them and think, oh, I want to be like them. You don't know their struggle. You don't know their health issues or whatever. They could be very, very skinny because they've got a health condition. They could be very, very overweight because they've got a health condition, or not, or whatever. So just be you. You are beautiful in the way you are. This is, you know, tall, slim, fat, old, young, whatever. You're beautiful just the way you are. And like Rhys said, you know, if you can do things, do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. If people are calling you saying you're fat, you're ugly, this, that, and the other, get them out your life and then have me time. I'm going through a bit of me time at the moment, thanks to lockdown as well. So I'm having a relationship with myself and with my family and with my friends. Because whenever I've been in a relationship, I do neglect friends and family. So I'm single, but yes, I'm chatting with people, but I'm not meeting people, and I'm learning to kind of love myself a little bit more. So yeah, you're beautiful just the way you are.
Well, exactly, and that should kind of sum up the show. We've all got our issues with our own bodies, but you try not to compare yourselves to other people. And if you want to go to the gym, you want to strive to get that six-pack, do it for the right reason. And just be wary, if I can give anyone advice, just be wary of what you're posting on social media. You want to continue to post your six-packs, that's great, but don't at the same time post up negative comments about the previous body that you had, because you have to be wary that there is someone on the other side of that looking at that and comparing your before photo to their own body, thinking it's something that they should be ashamed of. So that would be the only thing that I would say. If you've got a great body and you're happy with your body, great. And continue to post or whatever. Just be wary of what you're posting. And don't judge yourselves, especially on celebrities' bodies, because it's just not healthy.
They're rich enough.
Because they're all airbrushed and things like that. And I'll hold my hand up, I airbrush my photos.
We can afford the personal trainers, we can afford the dietitians, we can afford, like Rhys did, the plastic surgery. You know, if we all had money, we would all have the bodies that we want. No.
So share this to everybody so we can get money in the future. So
I can get me some packs.
And we could all be sitting six-packs. No, I'm joking.
We won't move. We'll be like that.
Oh,
Speaking of which, I am really thinking about getting lip filler in my top lip.
Oh.
I don't need it.
No,
Rhys,
don't.
if that makes you happy, then you
Only because I got a really nice bottom lip, but I don't like my top lip.
However, I do know a friend who got it and it just looked awful and they had a lot of pain with it. So just make sure.
Have you thought of getting the lip plumper?
No, because I look.
But if you're wanting that for yourself and it makes you feel
No,
good
it's like a you put it. It's like a lipstick.
for someone else,
It's clear. You can buy it.
It's all for me. I just want to see what it looks like. Does it go away? I think it does.
it fades within about, I think, his 6 months.
What's his name?
Do not mention names.
Yeah, let me know.
I'll message you the person's name, and they've done a TikTok with it.
I know.
Okay.
I know exactly who you're talking about. But my other friend, when they did a before and after picture, the before I was like, it's so much better. The after, what you want it to do is look natural.
Yeah, I'm only gonna get like half a meal.
It is not attractive. If you just want it to be a little plumped up,
Yeah.
go for
A
it.
little
If
bit.
you want to do it, it makes you feel better, go for it. Just be very, very careful of who you go to and get lots of advice.
Yeah, don't be going to no backstreet place.
No, no.
You'll end up like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just want to see what it looks like. That's the only reason I want to do it. Just to see what it looks like.
I'll send you an app that can plump up
we
your
still
lips,
need to
and you'll see what it
decide.
looks like.
Still need to decide on the lip sync this week, guys.
I think we should do Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars.
Ah, because
When
also,
Lee said it, I was like,
we haven't actually done any male. Have we done
no.
it? What?
I was
have-
thinking that the other day, actually.
So we should do a male.
Okay, let's do Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are. We said we were going to do an upbeat song this week. It's not really upbeat, though.
No, but it's still a nice song. It is a nice song.
It is a nice song. So, but in the words of RuPaul, to sum it up, if you can't love yourself,
How the hell you
gonna
love somebody
love
else?
somebody
Can I
else?
get an amen up in here?
Amen!
Amen.
so yeah, this was basically just an episode of us talking about body image issues and what's kind of current in society. We don't know if this has helped anyone, but the fact that you now know what you feel about it, it may have helped you. Please get in touch with us, reallifegaze@yahoo.com, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at reallifegaze. We do love hearing from you. Even if there's just a comment down below on our YouTube page, please get in touch because we really do love hearing from you guys. So yes, we will see you all in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Is there anything
will.
you guys want to add?
No. Well, yeah, just love the way you are. And oh, yeah! Plug it. Plug it, honey.
Plug it, honey. So yeah, £12, including postage and packaging for our Real Life Gaze mugs. They're still always on sale. If you're interested in a Real Life Gaze t-shirt, please get in touch because orders will be going in soon. And I'd like to get a list of people who want one. So they're black or white and small, medium, large, and extra large. So if you want any information about the t-shirts, please get in touch with us, reallifegaze@yahoo.com. Okay, so there's just one thing left to do, and that's to say thank you all so much for watching. We will see you soon. Mwah. Are you ready?
Bye.
Bye! Yes! That was all on time!
Bye.
Her eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. And it's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. Yeah. Her lips, I could kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates but I think it's so sexy. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Oh, you know I never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, then just stay the same. So don't even bother asking if you look okay. You know I'll say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are. The way you are. Girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing,